So let's have a look. Microphone on, yeah, there you go. So I've got a bulk of an article. There's a lot more to be written about. And so there's a chunk of what else there is to come on the body language article at exploratoryminds.com. And it's very much this first take on it. It's tip of the iceberg. At the same time, it can look like it's going very deep, or preparing to go in depth, and that would be true. And the first bit is really for self-help or self-improvement, but it's not a fix, because our body language really expresses what's going on the inside towards the outside. Sometimes, though, your position and everything, if you position yourself, your body in a certain way, in a confident way, it can make you feel more confident. Therefore, if that's going on inside enough, you're going to position yourself that way anyway. This is a feedback thing, yeah. It's not always that simple, depending on what your issues are on the inside, anxiety and so on. But it's a start. But because of that, we'll write up some articles about mitigating low self-esteem or getting more motivated. I do some short articles on that. We're not experts. I'm not an expert. But again, like I've expressed before, Exploratory Minds is about that collaboration kind of mindset. Help me, help you. And bringing people together with subject matter that they can take part in, as well as, if they make a claim, then they should be able to back it up. Unlike some idiots online claiming rocks are atheist and just sounding like a complete idiot. And I fail to understand anyone really trying to debate people like that, because you're debating an idiot, idiotic claim, then maybe, or you're gonna sound like an idiot. If you can back stuff up and write stuff, like we have a blogging section on the social pages. Write your own blog if we like it, and if it backs itself up to some degree within its own arena of subject matter, and particularly if it's not entirely its own bubble or echo chamber, it will leak out and support other subjects. If it's like that, we give you a shout out and say, we'd say, like, do you want that on our main blog? And we give you a shout out, say, this is from, and insert name here, so on, and I'll mention your name in video, mostly on the Exploratory Minds channel. So I got out the 3D printing stuff on the other channel, and I'll be doing a short video on body language over there as well. So there's a real fun, weird take on things that you can do this exercise. Stand, and this will really start you thinking about body language, hopefully a bit. Stand in your room, slouched, looking at the floor, like no confidence kind of body language, right? And think to yourself, actually say out loud, this is the best day of my life. You're probably going to laugh your ass off because of the contradiction there. Now, stand, positive body language, confident, proud, looking up, straight torso, not rod-like, but confident. This is the worst day, say that. This is the worst day of my life. Why does it feel like you're lying in contradiction? Well, it's obvious, because what we think inside is expressed on the outward. But it's far more deeper than that. One of the larger parts of our bodies is our legs. And the further away something is from our head or from the brain, the more revealing, I think, the cues of because it's, nobody looks at the feet all the time to see what the feet are doing. But how do the feet express what's going on inside? Well, it's usually the right foot. People put the right foot forward first. Not always the case. I think it might be due to left brain, right brain dominance, I don't know. Regardless. Usually put the right foot forward first. And point it in the direction they want to go, or point it in the direction of their interest, or what they're interested in. People in a cafe or in a bar, if they're sat, if you're seeing a person, and these are some of the bits and not talked about really on the article at the moment, but we'll go into that in the next bits. If you're talking to somebody and their arms are folded, and that's talked about a lot, arms folded, not interested. Not always the case, the person might be cold, but you just look read all the variables and then of the environment and within context, and then what is the person doing within all that context. If they're like this and talking but not really making much eye contact, and the right foot is pointing away, or one of the feet are pointing away, they're not interested in continuing the conversation. However, the right foot or left foot, whichever, the feet pointing to you and they're leaning towards you, open arms, not shutting the body off like that. They're interested in communicating. Why are these? Why do we do this? Well, it comes from our earliest origins. This is our most vulnerable part, right? One of our most vulnerable areas is the torso, right? The underbelly would be if we was on all fours, regardless. Kind of butchering that. It would be a delicate area, protecting it. Even if it's not a threat, but you're not interested. If you're not interested and communication keeps going on further and further, you're too polite, obviously, to say, shut up, I'm not interested. So you're trying to be polite, but you just want to block the person there anyway, so you're doing this. The same would be for your feet if they're crossed underneath the chair. And if someone's doing that, feet crossed under the chair, and this was a big sign. But sometimes some people are better at reading than others. It used to be said a lot that women read body language better than men, but I begin to wonder over the social circles that I've seen I think it seems to be transitioning the other way around. For whatever reasons, but there's no clear cut. Some people, I guess, are better than others. So these are some of the things to look for. People doing this while they're talking to you. What do you think that is? They're looking at you and they're kind of agreeing and they're talking to you. Some of you might be thinking, they're bored, they're trying to rest their head and stop them falling asleep. Actually not. If it's this, under the chin, they're literally propping their face up like on a pedestal for you to admire it. They're interested. Right? This probably, feel like I want to go to sleep there. Just doing that. That's probably boredom. More than likely. Some of these cues are blatantly obvious to some people, and reaction to this video might be, well, of course. Didn't everyone know that? But there's a lot of people that don't. I put on Twitter a poll actually recently to do with body language, and I want to just quick look at the results of that. I think there's 1 day left on that poll. Just doing this short video before I head back out to work. Short Sunday shift today, Sunday hours. But once body language is out the way, there's something on trans-humanism, which is a mind-blowing subject in and of itself as well. Body language is quite a big subject as well. So, like I said, like I've been saying quite a bit, you might be getting annoyed with me saying it now. He said, yeah, you already say that many times. Is the other channel is going to get more attention now? Now that that main article is out the way, there will be some videos. Not main article, that first take. Then there'll be another. Then another. It goes about 4 or 5, I think, if I break it down. So you'll get the body language videos over on Exploratory Minds because of that. Let me have a look at the poll. See, I asked on Twitter, basically I asked, a little fun for body language research. We have found 10 different sources of information, so I pose a question. If a person is confronted with something seemingly serious or important, then begin scratching their nose as they respond, as they talk back, are they lying? Experts have looked into this and said, more often than not, they're lying their ass off. But why? What's scratching the nose got to do with things? And they just have an itchy nose? Like if I was asked a serious question and I responded, yeah, that's right, that is, I believe that, yeah. Children, they lie, they might go automatically, like that. Like semi-consciously, if you will, I think. As we get older, we evolve our body language cues almost kind of purposely, but without we knowing we're doing it. It's very subtle. And that becomes scratch your nose or like that. And this be trying to deny a mental image of something that could happen. You don't want to see it. It's like the 3 wise monkeys, you know. Say no, see no, it'd be hear no as well, I guess. Interesting. And you know, the child then would be thinking, that came out of my mouth. I did tell a lie. Hope I don't get found out. Right? And they're doing all this completely innocently and very unaware of what they're doing. As we become more social and have a theory of mind, if you will, we understand what we think isn't the same as what other people think, and their lives are different to ours, and so on, with individuality. And so we evolve cues to try and hide certain things. Experts can read body language and they will always detect a lie, no matter how good you are. Although some cases it's requirement to try and not reveal what is going on inside. If you're low, like you go into an interview and you're nervous about it, and your self-esteem isn't so good that day or isn't so good overall, but you're trying to improve it, and the job that you're going for perhaps could improve it, so you really want that job. So there's things like in the article that I've recently written you could perhaps do to help mitigate the wrong message and help promote the right message to get in that job. Alright? And again, positive body language, positive posture can make you feel more positive about yourself. But really, a good fix would be try to start working from within outwards, start analysing yourself, maybe work with a friend as well. And we get into that. It's something that I use called a double think method to motivate myself. Sometimes I forget to use it and I get lazy about things. The basics of double think is you think in two ways at the same time. On one hand, you have the detriments of not doing something and what's going to end up being something you don't want if you don't take action. Then you think about the positives of doing what's needed to be done and how that compares. That will motivate you within that moment. In that moment, use both at the same time. I struggle to get out of bed sometimes in the morning, but when I do that, I say, look, here's the detriments, you're going to be late for work, blah, blah, and here's the positives, you're going to get this done, and that done before you even get to work. And it's almost as if my body moves and I stand up or I get out of the bed automatically. I don't even have to try. And it's quite surprising if you've never done that before. And I think that's generally what motivated people how they tend to think. Even if you're exhausted, it sometimes still keeps you going a little bit. Another subject matter would be the trans-humanism technology thing. There's something I did want to write about. Cheshire Vic made a video about recently. Good video, Chesh. I really like your stuff. How you're reading through all that, and I can relate to you when you're talking about, wow, this blows your mind, because there is so many almost infinite possibilities on technology used with the biology of our bodies to enhance sensory input, being able to see infrared spectrum, different colour spectrums you wouldn't normally, all this. So let me get into what Cyborg Foundation is, because that'll be coming after the body language would write up a little bit, because I think it's very important that at some point in the future, providing we don't annihilate ourselves via our own stupidity, it's inevitable that we're going to have most of the human race has augmented or enhanced somehow, even if you weren't going for the obvious things. There's going to be technologies that you'll take a pill and it releases nano bots into your bloodstream, and there'll be an app to communicate with them on your mobile phone to read your body, find any ailments. Then the next upgrade through that would be the next advancement in that technology would be these bots, these tiny nanobots, not only be reporting back, but able to fix some things within the body. Like, is there a artery that's damaged? You start building your artery wall in the damaged area. I kid you not, that is possible in terms of physics, in terms of material production, in terms of but you know, always times infinity. These things slow down because of financial support. But you see a lot of private companies now doing better, like SpaceX is another company to watch. Space program, because NASA really has had its day, kind of mothballed and not as financially well off, but you'll see that often. But NASA and SpaceX have done some things together now, so that's fascinating to watch. But companies in general would be the private firms that are not really that government funded or so on. Neuralink is another thing. Neuralink is doing in 2020, whether they started or not, Elon Musk reported we're ready for human trials. I did some videos on Neuralink on the Exploratory Minds Project channel, YouTube channel. Go and have a look at them. There's going to be some more articles on Neuralink because of that. They're ready for human trials. There's a chip in your brain. It sounds, there's a lot of conspiracy around that, like it is somehow potentially demonic, or the devil's mark, or so on. That's always going to be the case, because you could go back to the Dark Ages and somebody call you a witch if you was a woman and you was good at, because you was good at math, mathematically brilliant, suddenly witch. Didn't have enough understanding back then to realise that just because women back then were just very much a second class, even not even a citizen, but the understanding of an entirely different world, people were programmed via that worldview, and anything they didn't understand, they were afraid of. Fear throws out illogical perspectives all the time. And sure, could any of these technologies be used against you if you opted to use these things? Absolutely. Why do I say that? Because anything can be weaponized, right? Physically, or with information as well. Talking about smart lenses, contact lens you put in your eye, ability to have an overlay of information to like computer screen, that's going to be possible one day. But what if there's a flash message, that is a subliminal message that, yeah, it's possible that it's coming in by design of the thing they gave you. Somehow they snuck in one that is a test to see if somebody could be programmed that way, perhaps. And those are just theories based on fear of how something could be weaponized. But anything can be weaponized. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Knife and fork to eat with, physically it can be weaponized. It could stab somebody with this. Not that I would. Well, self-defense I probably would, but regardless, I use it to eat breakfast with. So it's 10:10. Should be going soon. Ready for work. So yeah, trans-humanism is to do with technology. This technology has gone from observable around us to handable to wearable, and then you can have it in our bodies as well. Where was that article, that thing? Looking. There you go. Cyborg Foundation. Go and look that up. Go and check out Cheshire's video on the Cyborg Foundation. Actually, I'll put a link below. It's fascinating stuff. It is a foundation that was put together for people who want to upgrade their bodies in these artificial ways and give extra sensory input via these things, you're sensing like the colour spectrum and different things that we wouldn't normally be able to process, because our biology is not evolved that way. But we're playing our part now in extending our evolution via the technologies that we build. And this is probably inevitable from any advanced biological system, that we're going to start doing this anyway. I really see it as part of our evolution. That we build, if an ET race flew by Earth, it would say these weird primate beings are building something and they may not even know it. Think about that. With our technologies, it's not just to improve our lives, it's to extend what we are. It's an extension of ourselves. That's what technology really is, to some degree. Peace. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I look forward to doing the next video. Cheers. Bye.